for today's session, we'll be treating or we'll be discussing personal effectiveness. This is just an introduction to personal effectiveness. And as I mentioned already, this is going to be in a series format. So every week and what we'll treat. And it's going to be a bi-weekly affair. So bi-weekly, so we'll have first and third Fridays of each month. So I'll be expecting 6th October to be the first career clinic for October. And then the third week also, we would have another session. Okay. So as part of the Ghana Growth Program, which is an initiative that's led by the MasterCard and then Springboard, Access Human Capital is a partner of this program, and ours is a job component. So ours is to bring you employable skills, lead you into training, help you attain, acquire employable skills, and then do some job matching on the market. Please feel free to use your chat room if you have any issues, if you want to contribute, just use your chat room. And as we proceed, there'll be opportunities for you to speak if you need to speak, and then the chat room is available. So without any further info or any concerns, we will start today's session. Now, personal effectiveness. An introduction. So today our objective is in 4 folds. We want to understand the concept personal effectiveness. We want to know the importance, why it's needed. We want to explore the key components and then begin some self-awareness and self-assessment skills by identifying our temperaments and doing some SWOT analysis. Okay. So today we are understanding personal effectiveness, know the importance, know the components, and do some SWOT analysis. Now, how do you understand personal effectiveness? So this, I'm going around the call. If you want to speak and just raise your hand, you will call to speak in the chat. So the chat room is also available. So how do you understand personal effectiveness? Who would be the first to go? Okay, there is. Okay. How do you understand personal effectiveness? Without going through the slides or on top of your head, how do you understand personal effectiveness? If we say someone is being effective, if someone is being personally effective, how do you understand that? Okay, so this is, I don't know if I can mention names so that you could just let us know in coming into the session how you get it, and then when leaving the session, whether it has changed or it's still the same for you. This would be very helpful. That's fine. It looks like we are not getting. Okay, so there's.
Okay, good morning. So personally, I think personal effectiveness has to do with you knowing yourself and what works for you, such that you are able to work efficiently wherever you find yourself. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Gracia. Okay. Dietrich, am I mentioning the name right? Dietrich, okay. Personal effectiveness is a branch of the self-help movement dealing with success, goals, and related concepts. Nice. Thank you for that. Any other person? Okay, thank you, Gracia and Dietrich, for that insightful understanding. Let's move on then. The world around us. So in preparing for this webinar or this session, we had to understand, just like how I asked, how do you understand personal effectiveness? Within the Access team, we went around the room, how do they understand personal effectiveness? And then in understanding personal effectiveness, these key words came up. So we looked at some people said personal effectiveness is about management, leveraging, self-emotional intelligence, and then realistic goals. So the 4 key components here were management, acquisition or leverage, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and realistic goals. Now, when we look at management, we look at image management, resource management, workload management, and time. So they are saying that how you manage your time, how you manage your workload, how you manage your resources, and how you manage your image is personal effectiveness to them. Others also mentioned that leverage, how you leverage on technology tools, how you relate your interpersonal skills, your innovation skills, your networking skills. And some also said it's about emotional intelligence, how emotionally you are in terms of your environment, taking account the people around you, their emotions, and how realistic your goals, you said, how realistic they are. So that was the definition for our in-house team, where we treated the personal effectiveness. Okay. Now, please, if you have any questions, if you have any contributions, make sure you put it in the chat or raise your hands, and then we would open up the floor for you to speak or read out your comments and questions. Now, introduction. Personal effectiveness refers to the ability to achieve one's goals and objectives efficiently while maintaining a balance in various aspects of life. So with personal effectiveness, we are just looking at how well your goals and objectives can be achieved whilst you are maintaining a work-life balance. According to the Chartered Management Institute, how you manage yourself impacts your personal effectiveness according to them. So how well are you able to manage your time? How well are you able to manage your workload when given? How efficient are your outputs? How productive are you? And I think Dietrich also mentioned something about the self-help movement. Yes, I realized that also. And personal effectiveness was evolved out of positive thinking. Okay, positive thinking and positive psychology. So as you remain positive, as you go about your as you are being optimistic, that is you achieving personal, because there's a need for survival. As human beings, we need to grow. Okay, even in our educational system, we need to move from one stage to the other. So you need to move from in the work environment, you need to move from junior level to from entry level to the junior level to the senior role. So as you personally make your goals, your workload effective, personal effectiveness. So with the intro, we're just saying that personal effectiveness is needed for survival and growth, just to keep a work-life balance. Now, knowing what personal effectiveness is, okay, how do you think we can manage our personal effectiveness as career people, as students, as individuals? How do you think you can manage your personal effectiveness? Based on what we said about the intro, what Gracia and Dietrich also shared, please, how do we manage our personal effectiveness? Let me take a few, about 3 from these from the chat room. You can type in the chat room or raise your hand. I can hear someone. Okay, Dietrich, yes. Dietrich, your hand is raised. You can unmute and speak. Okay. Thank you all. Okay. So managing personal effectiveness. So I have here some number of things we could do to manage our personal effectiveness, but it's not exhaustive. So I'll take these 5, and then based on that, we also give more. Now, scheduling. To manage personal effectiveness, you need to schedule. Okay. You need to have your to-do list. What am I up for today? Today, what am I doing? You have a list of things that you need to do. So you schedule it. In scheduling, you have to prioritize. Okay. Now, in prioritizing, what comes first? Scale of preference. You know, those who do a course, scale of preference. You need to know, or based on importance or based on deadlines. You need to know which comes first and which comes second, which comes third. So in scheduling also, you need to know, okay, now, can I do everything I'm being asked to do? Saying no sometimes is very necessary, because saying yes to everything can make you have a negative reputation. You can either be looking like an unreliable person, you can be negligent, people see you as a person without integrity. So it's needed, saying no can be necessary sometimes, okay? Now, in saying no and saying yes and actually delivering, make you very authentic. We know that, oh, this person, once the person says yes, is going to be, this thing is going to be done. Once the person says, I will make it, the person shows up. So then makes one authentic. Now, in managing your personal effectiveness, there's a need for continuous learning. There's a need for continuous self-improvement. What can I leverage on? What tech tools can help me improve in my area of studies? What tech tools can help me improve in my my work, in my career? What if I need a negotiation skill, how do I attain that? Networking skills, do I need to involve myself in going for corporate events? Anytime there's an event in your company, do you say no just because you are shy or just because you feel like it's not necessary? You need to pick up all these things. So in doing that, you're actually managing your personal effectiveness. Please, as I said, if you have any questions, just make sure you put in the chat or you raise your hand. If you have any contributions, you can also raise your hand or put in the chat. So now I've mentioned 5 things we could do to manage our personal effectiveness. This is not an exhaustive list, so anyone who could add up to it. Anyone who could add up to it. Okay, okay. So as we go on, just think of it. If you have any other information or other info that I'm gonna post somewhere, you can just put it in the chat and we'll read it out. Okay, nice. So in managing our personal effectiveness, now after managing and going by all these things, why is it necessary? Why should we be personally effective? Why should we be personally effective? Now, in being personally effective, you are enhancing your decision making, because as you are prioritizing, as you are scheduling, as you are saying no, you know the choices to say no to and the things to say yes to. That is you being proactive when it comes to decision making. Now, improve time management. When you are scheduling, when you are prioritizing, when all these things that we do to manage it, we know that now we can show up at this time. We can finish there's a deadline. You make sure that you meet the deadline. Okay, so that makes our time management, improved. Now, increase productivity and efficiency. Now, if you are doing this scheduling, you are doing the time management, you are setting your goals, you are thinking, you are being authentic, you are thinking positively, and then you are doing continuous learning. Your productivity increases, your efficiency increases, you are setting smart goals. This helps you in all aspects of your life. Now, better work-life balance. Yes, and also, yeah, some people have very poor life balance. Yeah, there was a time that I realized that I had a very poor work-life balance. Some people try to even reach out to me on phone, and then later like, Loretta, that is why I was trying to call you, but then time passed. So this helps you in prioritizing, in scheduling, in goal setting, in setting realistic goals. This helps you know, okay, I need to be at this social event at this time. Okay, I'm there. Work also calls for this time. I'm also there. So this helps you, manage all these balances of life. Okay. Now, lastly, enhance career success. So, as we said, your productivity increases. You are doing continuous learning. You're a lifelong learner. What happens to that? Your career success, it's enhanced. It's enhanced. Please, how many people can hear me? If you can hear me, just let me know by raising your hand or putting that in the chat. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. So please, once you can't hear me, just put it in the chat that we can't hear me, and then we'll pick it up from there. Okay, thank you. Now let's move on. Personal effectiveness. So personal effectiveness has a whole lot. So this image is just trying to tell us that personal effectiveness comes with self-awareness, emotional intelligence, communication skills, goals. Let me have, what can you see in there? At least one person, someone should mention a component they can see in what I have mentioned. I've mentioned self-awareness, I've mentioned emotional intelligence, I've mentioned goal setting. So what else can you see in there? What else can you see? Please, let's try to make this session very interactive. Okay, what can you see in there? Conflict resolution. Okay. Okay, Dylas, please speak. Dylas, your hand is up. Linda, thank you. Strength, that's good. Any other? Okay, Dylas, your hand is still up. Okay, let's move on. That's great. Time management. Thank you, Rosina. Time management. Okay. And I can see another one, empowering. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh, wow, Frida. Conflict resolution. Great, 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 great. So I can see we are following. That's great. Okay. Now into the future. Well, I mentioned that from the beginning, those who were here from the beginning, I mentioned that our career clinic will now be a series-based career session. So this week we are treating introduction to personal effectiveness. So then any other topic that comes after would be components of personal effectiveness. So for next week we'll be treating, so this is for this week, which is self-awareness and emotional intelligence. So an introduction, then we zoom into self-awareness. Now the following one would be what time management and goal setting. Time management. So next week, Friday, expect to join us to discuss time management and goal setting. The next will be building resilience and agility. Building resilience and agility. Then the next one is effective communication. The next one, so the first two, the first week of October, Friday, the third Friday of October, we'll also take building resilience and agility. So next week, Friday, we'll be taking time management and goal setting. And the third week will be building resilience and agility. So please be expectant. All right. Now, self-awareness. Self-awareness. This is what I have here. I am able to control only that which I am aware of. That which I am aware of, I am unaware of controls me. What do you think about this statement? Let's see those who would, I am able to control only that which I am aware of. Please. This one is an open floor discussion. It's going to be like a debate, sort of. So let me see those picking, I am able to control only that which I am aware of. Miriam, thank you. I saw your life balance. That's also you picked from the personal effectiveness image. That's great. Okay, you are able to control only that which you are aware of. That's one for that. Any other person? Okay, Now, for the second part, that says, that which I am unaware of controls me. Who is speaking that? So I am able to control only that which I am aware of. That which I am aware of controls me. So who thinks that is actually true? So as we are gathering our thoughts, Gracia, why did you pick I'm able to control only that which I am aware of? I'm able to control only that which I'm aware of.
Okay, so I chose I'm able to control only that which I'm aware of because the things I know, I mean, if I know something very well and you come and tell me something differently, I can't be cheated. You can't cheat me. I'll actually make you know that this is what I know from what I have a fair idea of. So that's why I would go for I am able to control only that which I am aware of. Yes, thank you.
Thank you too. So who chose that which I am unaware of controls me? Anyone in the house? Okay, so it looks like majority of us are maybe in between. Anyone who is in between there, who is indifferent about both statements? Anyone who is in between there? Okay, thank you all for your okay. Now, awareness empowers me. So I'm able to control only that which I'm aware of. That which I am unaware of controls me. Awareness empowers me. So if you are aware of yourself, if you're aware of your skills, if you're aware that I'm not good at something, you take the initiative towards quickly learn, see ways, look out for the ways you can actually enhance your skills. So that helps you to empower yourself. So that's how the statement goes, that awareness empowers me. Okay. So if you have any further contribution, put it in the chat, or you raise your hands and speak. Okay. Now, as we mentioned from the beginning, based on our objectives, we are looking at our temperament. Okay, our temperament, and we would have a SWOT analysis. So on our temperaments, this we know most people are aware of this temperament. So we have the choleric, we have the sanguine, we have the phlegmatic, we have the melancholic. So with that, choleric appears as a natural leader. They are the tough people. How many people are tough in this house? They are the tough people. You have the sanguine people. They are fun, they are loving, they are outgoing, they are outspoken. Anytime they are happy babies. Now, phlegmatic, they are just quiet in their corner, looking at things. They are very observant. Sometimes seems like they do not have their own initiative, but yes, that's the phlegmatic. Now, melancholic, they like orderly lives, okay? So sometimes they're in the mood, other times they're not in the mood. Sometimes you see them smiling, happy, pose, but other times no. So we have these 4 temperaments. As I speak, I know you've identified yours. So I'll come back to, so you share which one you think you are, and then the characteristics you have in there. Now, let's look into details. Let's go deeper. Now, for the melancholic, some of their traits. So they are creative, they are conscious, they are precise, they are careful, they are indecisive, anxious, sometimes cold and reserved. For the choleric, as we mentioned, optimistic, but they are very strong-willed. they are naturally leaders. They are aggressive, controlling, overbearing, sanguine, so phlegmatic. So these are the characteristics we have for each of them. This is not an exhaustive list, but then you can find, so try in, please, as you look at my screen, just try and find yourself in there. Look at your character, what you think you've been exhibiting, and then let's see where you fall. Okay, so can I have a few people tell me where they fall based on these characteristics? It seems today we are very quiet. So I don't, if I put you on the spot, I would like to mention your names, but I don't want to put you on the spot like that. But Miriam, can you share with us, based on these characteristics, where you think you fall? Christiana, I'm coming to you next. Please don't leave, but please let's engage. So yeah, Christiana. Okay, the next person we could ask is Baba. Where do you think you fall? Looking at these characteristics here. Oh, Christiana, sorry, Christiana. Baba, please hold on a bit. Christiana, please speak.
Okay.
Yeah, Christiana, we can. Hello, Christiana.
Yeah, if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I play between sanguine
and okay.
Yeah, and maybe male.
Okay. Thank you. Baba, please, you can speak now. Christiana, thank you for that feedback.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Loretta. Phlegmatic and melancholic.
Phlegmatic and melancholy. Thank you, Baba, for that also. Any other person who wants? I've heard from females. Let me hear from the guys as well. Kwame Ifriye. I know this is sudden, but where do you think you fall? George Asian, can you share with us also? So Kwame, if you're ready to speak, please unmute and speak. And George, if you're ready to speak, unmute and speak also. Okay. Okay, since the guys today they're done. Okay, Kwame, thank you. Please speak.
I think I'm melancholic.
Okay. Thank you. Any other person, any other male in the house who wants to support Kwame on that? Okay. Thank you all for that. Now let's move on to okay. So this also gives, now I remember I mentioned we will do a SWOT analysis also. So we now know our personalities. We now know our temperament. So we say some people are sanguine, some people are phlegmatic, melancholic, and then some people too. Oops. Okay, so please hold on. Now, with this table gives us an outlook on the strength of sanguines, of the different temperaments, the weaknesses, and then the career preferences. So with this, you realize you have, you're optimistic, you're extroverted, confident, light-hearted for the sanguine, for the strength and the weaknesses. So let's quickly look in there and see that those who are in any career path, let's see and then compare with the career preferences and see if you see yourself there. Let's see if we could identify ourselves in there. So Baba, please can you unmute and let us know if really your career preference is in there?
Okay, Loretta, please let me quickly check.
Okay.
Hello.
Wow.
Yes, Priscilla.
A bit, I think a bit, maybe teacher or mediator, maybe.
Is that Priscilla speaking or Barbara? Because I can
No,
see
Baba.
Priscilla. Priscilla. Barbara, okay. Barbara, you said
Yes.
teacher.
Or mediator,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Mediator. All right. Thank you. Priscilla, what about you?
I'm going for the melancholic. I
Yes.
see a researcher there. Yes, and
Okay.
I love that too.
All right, that's great. That's great. That's great. So thank you, Priscilla, for your contribution. And this is a way, so in identifying your temperament, you know I'm a sanguine, you know you're a phlegmatic. Now I know my strength, you know your weaknesses. You may have a career preference, or you may not have it. So you can actually look through this career preferences stated there. There are more, as you can see, there's etc. etc. So there are more. This list is not exhaustive. So you can look in there and see which career preference that you can check which one is suitable for you as you climb up the career ladder. Okay. Now, self-awareness, recognition of who you are, the ability to recognize and understand your most emotions, drives, as well as their effects on others. So for self-awareness, so in this, you're looking at emotional intelligence. I mentioned that we're looking at self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Okay, for the first part of self-awareness, we need to identify who you are. What's your temperament? Now, in identifying your temperament and knowing that this is the kind of person I am, this is the kind of trait I exhibit, or I may exhibit around the people. You also need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to be emotionally available. You need to know how your emotions impact on people around you, and how your surroundings, people around you, also their emotions impact your mood swings or your work environment. Now, with self-awareness, the ability to recognize, so here we recognize our temperament. We need to understand our moods, which we have done. Okay, so then we learned, okay, fine, this is the kind of person I am. I'm a phlegmatic person. Okay, this is how someone who is also a phlegmatic person has the kind of drive the person has towards me, the kind of effect the person has on me. Now, in knowing that, what can you do? You become socially aware. In understanding others, you become socially aware. Then you can manage yourself well and have exhibit the best social skills that is needed. So any contribution on this, any question on this, any additions from the audience? Okay, thank you. We need to make this interactive. At the end of the day, there's some surprise for us at the end. So let's understand this. Let's see, as I speak, let's see how it relates to our work life, our social skills, and we as individuals. Okay. Now, yes. AC, please unmute and speak.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks a lot for taking us through this. I wanted to add on, I'm not sure that you had a conversation around career choices and temperaments. I'm not sure if that came up, did it?
Yeah, it came up briefly.
Yes.
Some
Okay.
people identified okay.
Okay, fantastic. So just wanted to add that it's really important, you know, as we have this conversation, to weigh our natural temperaments, preferences, etc., as part of, to include that in our career planning. What kind of job am I looking for? What kind of job will I be best suited for? Where will I excel? So to constantly keep that at the back of our mind, so that as we make decisions, as we have, we proactively search for jobs, etc., we're doing so not just because we've been trained in a particular area, not just because we've studied something, but because when we look at ourselves naturally, we can see where things will be easier for us or come naturally, and we'll be able to excel. And I think I just wanted us to emphasize that this self-awareness is not just know yourself and then that's it. But knowing yourself, managing yourself, and making decisions that actually are informed, well informed by who you are. Thank you very much, Loretta.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Prince, your hands, please unmute and speak.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay, please go
Yes.
on.
So
Please
my question is, say, for example, I am sanguine. Okay.
Okay.
But I want something challenging. Like I don't want to limit myself to these. I see career preferences here. But say I'm someone who likes a challenge. I don't want to limit myself. Though I might be sanguine, I want to try something from, say, phlegmatic or choleric. Okay. Just want to push my boundaries, to try other things, to challenge myself. What of that? Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you, Prince, for your question. Thank you, Prince. Before I say any other thing, or before I contribute to your question, who would like to, answer that? Who would like to give what they think? Anyone who wants to help Prince out here?
Loretta, if I may,
Okay.
it's important to note that these are not boxes where we lock ourselves at all. These are not boxes we lock ourselves and say, okay, if it's not on this list, then I can't do that. Or if it's not on this list, then it doesn't apply. This just means, this list is just pointing to the interests that come naturally, the things that we prefer naturally. And so, for example, I am quite sanguine and I want to be an actuarial scientist. I want to work with numbers, etc. It doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means that if I'm aware of myself, then I know that naturally I may get bored with routine and going through data back and forth. And so when I'm stepping into that space to be an actuarial scientist or to work with numbers and be a researcher, etc., it just tells me that I need to be very intentional in building that capacity, because that capacity doesn't come naturally to me. In the same way, if I'm somebody who's very introverted, quite phlegmatic, and I want to be an entertainer, I want to be a storyteller, it just means that storytelling may come more naturally to somebody who's sanguine. If I want to step into that space, there's nothing wrong with it. All I have to do is know that I have to be intentional in how I approach the thing, in how I train myself, in just knowing that I need to build my capacity to get there, so that what may come naturally and easily to somebody else may not come naturally and easily to me. But once I'm aware, then it's easier for me to work towards that. I hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Isi, for that. Now, Frida, you had your hand up.
Hi, please, can you hear me?
Yes, hi. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, so I think I was going to mention some of the points Miss Isi has already mentioned. And then I wanted to add that sometimes we may not find ourselves in just one of these traits. Sometimes we find ourselves exhibiting more than one 2, 3 sometimes. It's just that we have of these traits being very dominant as our character. As in when we go out, people see some particular traits and are able to pinpoint that based on the number of times you've exhibited these strengths or weaknesses, you are sanguine, you are choleric. So it's like Mrs. said, you should not put yourself in one particular box in reference to the career paths you choose. You can explore other things. And I've come to learn that you can build on some competencies that you do not have from the beginning. I used to be very introverted. You would not catch me raising my hand to speak at even a virtual meeting like this. But I decided to build on being a little more outspoken, a little more extroverted. So it is something you can build on. If you feel any of these things are something like qualities you are lacking but would want to get them or would want to be someone who exhibits some of these qualities, you can build on them. You can build on the skills, you can study the skills, you can get closer to people who exhibit these skills and then see how they feel about it. And then you can find yourself in any of these career paths, no matter your temperament.
Okay, thank you, Frida, for that contribution. So Frida and AC has really made this very easy for us all. Yes, as I was about to also share the same points they mentioned. So Prince, please, are you satisfied? Do you understand how they explained it to you and the elaboration they give?
Yes, I'm very satisfied. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. I'm sure this has helped others also in-house. Okay, so let's move on without any further questions. So with this, we also, this was shared already. So we saw, how we manage ourselves, how we handle our relationships. Yeah. So now SWOT analysis. So with this, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats? I know most of us have heard SWOT analysis, but have we practiced it? So for our strength, we can look at what we are excelling. What are you excelling at for your strength? You can ask yourself these questions. What comes to you easily? What is the most consistent positive feedback you receive? Okay, that can help you know your strength. Now that's for strength. Weakness, what happens to weakness? What are you struggling with? What are some of the areas that you need improvements on? Consistently, what negative feedback have you been receiving? So the positive feedback will exhibit your strength, the negative feedback exhibits your weakness. Okay, so that is a good one to note. Now, as the year is drawing closer to an end, we can look at our goals. So what are your goals for 2024? What are your goals for even this last quarter of the year? So let's just take some 2 minutes or 1 minute to write down 2 top goals, 1 personal goal and 1 professional goal that we want to achieve by close of 2023. Or you can take for 2024. So it's either you're taking for the last quarter of the year or you're taking for 2024. So please, just 2 minutes, in fact, 1 minute to do that quickly. Anyone who can share can quickly raise their hand or can put it in the chat. Just 1 personal goal, 1 professional goal that you want to achieve in 2023 or 2024. Am I free to mention names here? Okay, since we are all silent, it means that I am free. So, Teresa, please, can you share with us one personal goal, either one personal goal, one professional goal? Either any one of them would be helpful. One personal goal, one professional goal. Michael Chum, I'm coming next to you. One personal goal, one professional goal. You can put that in the chat if you're not able to speak here. Yes, so.
If I may, while Michael and Theresa and others are thinking of their points, one of the things that I am looking to do as I go into 2024 is to narrow my focus to where I can excel more and step back from doing too many things. And so my goal specifically, if let's say the work that I do has me focusing on 6 or 7 key areas, by the end of the second quarter of next year, I want that focus to drop to 3. So mine is to actually not do more, but to do less and achieve more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Who is sharing next? Yes, Gracia, please.
Hi, everyone. And so for me, I think what I plan to work on, what I want to work on in the coming year is to be more confident and have this just to do with attitude. So when something comes to mind, I shouldn't think twice, but then I should just start working on it and gradually I'll get there. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Prince, please go on.
Yeah, so
Prince, you cannot be
my personal goal by the end of the year is to finish all online courses that I've enrolled on. And then for 2024 to start my professional exam courses. That's I want to become a chartered accountant, so I want to finish that by next year.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with us, and we pray that you achieve all this. And for me personally, for the rest of the year, my goal is to complete my master's program with flying colors, okay, to be able to finish with my thesis and everything. Then for 2024, I'm looking forward to climbing up higher in my career, basically. Yes, thank you. Any other person? Okay, so I think I concluded for us. All right, that's great. Now, yeah, hello. Was that Frida? Okay.
No, please. No, sorry.
Okay. All right. Fine. Now, yeah, so we've looked at our strength, what you're excelling at, your weakness, what you are struggling with, and the negative and positive feedback we receive from each other. We've noted down some goals. And please, if you are not called to speak or you didn't want to speak, make sure that you note down these goals before we close, before the end of the session. Now, opportunities. What are the opportunities available? And what opportunities can you take advantage of? So what opportunities are around you? Which one can you take advantage of? What external resources do you have access to? What upcoming trends around you can you anticipate and capitalize on? So there's a lot, we are in the AI, era. So what are you looking out for in terms of technology? As Prince shared with us, he's trying to finish up all his online courses He's leveraging on all these things. He's working on his personal effectiveness, which is a very good step. Now, the threats. What are the real and potential obstacles in your way? And how can you prevent this? And how can this prevent you from achieving your goals? And what upcoming trends around you can you anticipate and mitigate? So with the threats, what can you see? What force in looking at ahead? What kind of things stand in your way from achieving? So example, we have mentioned, or we know our personal goals, we know our professional goals. So what kind of threats are you anticipating? Okay, fine. I've noted down. Perhaps I can't. So with mine like this, I said I want to finish. I'm hoping to finish my master's program by the end of the year. So that's my goal for the few months left. Now, what are the threats in there? I need to complete my capstone project. By completing my capstone project to get that certification, there are some things I need to do. There's a lot of data I need to get and all those other things. But the data isn't coming, it's not coming. So what next can I do? So you need to be proactive in this step so that you can actually overcome this threat to excel. Okay. Any further thing on this? Any questions on this before I move ahead? Any contributions to this?
So, Loretta, I think that it's extremely important to ask for feedback. When you want to do a SWOT, a very honest SWOT, it's not just your own reflections, but ask people you know won't tell you lies. That sibling you're always fighting with, that, classmate who really doesn't fancy making you feel comfortable, so that we're asking people for feedback that we can use to improve. And if we go to people who are shy of us and who will defer to us and people who play nice, it doesn't help us. We may go and get very fluffy feedback that says we're great, we're amazing people, when really there are areas we need to work on and they're not confident enough to tell us. And so look for feedback everywhere, not just where you feel you'll get positive feedback, but from even the people you think are too hard on you, and get the feedback and begin to see the trend. What are they saying is your strength? What do you hear from multiple people? What do you keep hearing from multiple people about your weaknesses? So when we're looking for feedback, when we're doing a SWOT analysis, it's not just our reflections, but we should step out and get feedback from other people. And then as we work on our goals, then we can, zoom into our opportunities and threats. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As AC mentioned, the feedback. So we should always be ready to receive feedback and all forms of feedback. Don't always be ready to receive the positive ones. Sometimes the constructive ones are good to make us improve, to help us improve. Thank you for that. Now, we've done a whole lot today on self-awareness. We got to see the different temperaments and where we fall in the career preferences, what personal effectiveness is, managing our personal effectiveness. What do we do or what should we do? We discussed all that. Do you have any questions, any comments, and any feedback also to share here? Before we move ahead. Okay, so to us, feedbacks are very important. So I think I would like a couple of people to say something to us. I think I'll mention some names so we could. I know Frida has spoken today, Prince have spoken today. Who hasn't spoken today? Reina, please, can you share what did you learn on today's discussion? Hello. Okay, so the that I am a bit of a melancholic and phlegmatic. I didn't know that in the past. And I've also learned that the soul, you have to set goals and the goals have to be realistic and have to be able to achieve those. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rena. Abigail Lois, can you share with us what you've learned today on this webinar? Okay. So
Yeah.
in the spirit of, okay, thank you, Abigail. Please speak.
Yeah, I learned that your temperament shouldn't limit you and that you can be anything you want to be. You can also work on your weaknesses, your temperamental weaknesses as well.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll have a poll here for you to complete for us, and this would help us greatly in. So our lunch is soon. Our lunch is soon as we talk about other things. But let's move on to this one now. Discover by doing. I know we've all, I think we usually would hear learn by doing, but this one we are discovering by doing. So this is like a homework. This is the surprise I was talking about. This is like our homework. I want you to, or the team from Axis, okay, we want you to conduct a SWOT analysis of yourself and share with the people around you for feedback. So feedbacks are very necessary. So as you know your strength, as you write down your strength, as you write down your weaknesses, as you write down the opportunities you see around you, and as you write down the threats also, you make sure that you share it with people around. It could be your colleagues, your work colleagues, it could be your family, anyone that you think will give you a very positive and constructive feedback. Yes. So please do this, and then we want to hear from you later on. Hopefully next Friday, as we treat. I think we will be looking at time management and goal setting. So please conduct this, and then we share next Friday. Okay. Now, what's next? I've mentioned a lot that we'll be taking time management and goal setting next week, Friday. So make it a point to join us next week, Friday, to share in this communion, in this conversation, okay, in this conversation. So please, I'm launching a poll. It's a feedback poll. So we are always ready for feedbacks. So I'm launching this for us to, okay. So at this point, you should see 3 questions. What one thing did you learn from today's career clinic? What can we do better for the next career clinic happening on the 6th October 2023, which is time management and goal setting? And how likely are you to recommend this career clinic to your network? Yes, Christiana, your hand is raised. Please unmute and speak.
Oh, I thought I will be called after to say this is very elucidative. In fact, this is my first time. I also asked. It's very great. A learning platform for some of us. I'm so grateful. But I was just asking if the slides were going to be shared or the recording for review and all that. So that's what I wanted to ask by raising my hand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that feedback and that request. So we have you registered, so we have your registration information. So after the session, we'll have a look at the slides if we need to reshape it or edit anything, and look at the video and then do the necessary thing by forwarding it to all persons that were present today. Okay, so please be expectant.
All right, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you too. Thank you. Please, how many people have filled the poll, the feedback form? I don't see a lot of people filling it. So please. So as you are making a point to fill that feedback poll, I think it's a good time to share an exciting program with you all For the Ghana Growth Program, we are seeking to leverage rather. We want the youth, young people to leverage on the opportunities within the agriculture and ATVS sector. So when I say ATVS, I'm saying agriculture, technical, vocational, education, training sector. There are lots of things that we can leverage on within. It's not just the whole and stick perception that we usually have. Okay, sometimes when we think of agriculture, we are looking at, hey, someone in the farm, they're holding just cutlass. It could be so many things. So we are looking at the extended value chain. And when we say the extended value chain, these are the things you can find within. So from pre-production to consumption. So from conceptualization to consumption, the researches that are being done. Production, it could be maintenance, supply chain, processing, consumption, the hotels, hospitality industry, tourism, entertainment, all these people are within the agriculture and ATVS. So let's not put our mind on it's just the cutlass, whole and cutlass system, but it's a whole extended value chain. Now the program, as I mentioned, it's a consortium led by Springboard and MasterCard in partnership with Access Human Capital. And the target is within 15 to 35 years old and persons with disabilities. We are targeting persons with disability and women. Men are in there also. So we are looking at everything related to agriculture and how we can leverage on the opportunities in there. Where exactly in Ghana is this program or this opportunity extended to? Everywhere? So we are looking at all the 16 regions. So the entire Ghana, this is going in for every young person within Ghana. Now, what are the objectives when it comes to Access Human Capital? We are looking at providing skills training, which we do in our career clinic. We try to do this by bringing up topics that we could discuss. We could do CV review, we've been doing job strategy session, and today we treated personal effectiveness. So in that, we try to identify job and business opportunities and job match. So in doing all these things, we have a database of potential job seekers, a database of potential jobs and businesses within Ghana and in the agriculture and ATVS sector, both informal and formal. So this helps us to transition people into the sector. Okay, so this is what Access does basically on the program. So what's in it for us? So now we are doing this, but then we also need volunteers alongside this objectives that we have. We need to achieve. So we are looking at training opportunities. So job vacancy assistance. So to be a volunteer, we would train you, you'll get resources from our training programs. We will help you with your job vacancies, certification upon, well, the volunteerism we'll be happy with people. Even if you are working, you can still volunteer. If you're not working, you can volunteer. And as you transition from the non-working status to being employed, then you carry on ahead or you receive a certification from that. Networking, you get to network with employers, you get to network with people from different sectors because it's an extended value chain. Now, skills, what do we provide when it comes to the training? We have career planning toolkits, we have personal effectiveness, which we started off treating self-awareness. Interpersonal skills, how do we communicate verbally, non-verbally? Public speaking, technical skills, what tech tools can you leverage on? Workplace survivance. So the training we provide, we look at the career planning, personal effectiveness, interpersonal skills, technical skills, workplace survival, job readiness. So these are the different categories of training that we offer. So yes, and then this gives us a breakdown of what these categories or components involves. Now, okay, so this was okay. So these are your commitments to us as a volunteer. Your time, invest your time in there for us, help us. If you see a job vacancy somewhere, contact us so we liaise. If you think that the job vacancy could be useful to you also. If you need some training before you go in and apply, you just let us know and then we'll help you through that. You network, as I already mentioned, networking. This helps you know people. This helps you develop your networking skills. As you are developing your networking skills, you are being personally effective. And then you become what the professionalism, represent the program with a positive and proactive attitude. So throughout all this, you are learning communication skills, you are learning networking skills, you are managing your time as well. Okay. Now, for your involvement, as I mentioned, job opportunities provide assistance for both basic and virtual and in-person job readiness training. We gather data and then we do follow-ups, okay? So the follow-ups will be there for you and us to also do. If you have a potential employer, how would they benefit? There's a link that we send to all employers to onboard themselves, to register. Our in-house term we use is onboarding, but basically it's just to register onto the program. If there's a job seeker, someone who needs to join the program, so that when there's a need, when there's a role that he or she thinks he's interested, he can apply. The person also completes a form to register. Where can we find information? We have the website. You can go to the Access website. You have the job board there, and some telephone. Okay, and our telephone numbers or our email. So our email, you can email us on ghanagrowth@accesshtl.com. That will be put in the chat briefly for you. ghanagrowth@access.htl.com. So that is, if you see any job anywhere you want to apply, just send your CV to that. And the advertisements are all over social media, Facebook, WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp statuses, if you are connected to any one of us. And on the onboarding form, which is the form I mentioned that we sent to you, you are asked if you want to be a volunteer. You say yes to that. Which region? You state your region, and then moving on, we engage you. Okay. Thank you so much. Please, do you have any questions, any comments, any feedback? Okay. So the link has been shared in the chat. You can go in and fill and complete it in the Access onboarding form. You can go in and complete that link and we'll have your details. Okay, thank you so much. Please, any questions, any comments? Have we all filled out the poll? Okay, I can see we didn't get a lot of people